Hello everyone, my name is Dale Ackley and I'm a D1 athlete at the University of Notre Dame. I run track and cross country, but I want to start a YouTube channel, and I think the best way to do that would be to first give you some insight as to who I am. So basically I was born in Springfield, Missouri, and shortly after I was born I was taken away from my mom because they found drugs in her placenta. This led to me being taken care of by this lady that knows my eventual parents, which we'll get to. But I was with her for 2 weeks, and then after that, my mom got me back and we lived with my biological family for a little bit. So basically, growing up, my mom and I were in and out of domestic violence shelters because her boyfriend was really abusive to her. And so we were in and out of this and like living with him, living at different friends' places, whatever. My mom was in and out of drug abuse shelters and like rehab clinics, etc., etc. So my childhood was a little like complicated in that sense. It was just a bunch of moving around, whatever. So in second grade, we moved to this town called El Dorado Springs, which is where I now reside. But we moved to the shelter there. In this shelter, we had to go to church every Sunday. And so the pastors of this church really fell in love with me. Anyways, the next year, we moved to this different place in Missouri called Rolla. So in Rolla, we moved away from these pastors and whatnot. They're important, which I'll get to, but so we moved away. I lived in Rolla, third grade, and I got put in foster care for a month. So the pastors of this church heard that I got put in foster care, and they were really mad at my mom because they told her to let them know, like, if I was going to be taken away or anything. And she didn't do that because, I don't know. Anyways, she didn't do it. So then they heard about this, were pretty upset. And they were like, if it ever almost happens again, like, call us and we'll come get them. So as you can probably foreshadow, it happened again, almost. So my mom got a notification that like DFS was coming to pick me up. And so she took me and ran with me and hid me at her friend's house, where these pastors drove and came and got me. So this led to them becoming my legal guardians. And then eventually I started calling them grandma and grandpa. And then now they're my parents because they adopted me in 2016. So once I moved in with them, I started trying all these sports. I was always super active. I loved basketball, football, baseball, the usual, right? But I was always pretty small, so those sports didn't seem like they were going to work out super well. But I did work really hard to be good at basketball. I just wasn't very tall, wasn't very strong, whatever. So anyways, my parents, well, my now adoptive parents, they always encouraged me to just try everything. They were like, try this, try that, see what you like, see what you don't like, whatever the case may be. I really, really liked basketball. As I said, I thought that was a sport that I was going to try to do something with. And the reason I got started running was because I got a hernia. Basically, I went to the doctor for this hernia, and the great doctors in my town said that it was an extra muscle. So I played football for a year with this hernia, and I played every other sport that I did, basketball, baseball. And the next year, I told my parents, this doesn't feel right. Like, this still hurts. It's not an extra muscle. So they took me to a different doctor. Turns out it was a hernia. So I had to get surgery for that. And basically, the middle school cross-country coach had heard that I ran like a fast PE mile. Like, you know how everyone runs a mile in PE. So he came up to me and was like, I heard you ran pretty fast. Like, you should do cross-country. It's only half a mile more, which sounded like a lot back then. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. But I couldn't play football because I just had hernia surgery. So I ended up running, and I ended up being pretty good, actually, which is kind of what made me start liking it, because once I found out that I could be like pretty good at it, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this isn't bad. So anyways, I didn't race that much that year because I kept getting in trouble in school. But I really enjoyed it, and I had fun, and I made some friends that I really cherish today even. But I made some friends. So I was like, yeah, this is cool. So I went out the next year for 8th grade too, and I started winning races. So the previous year I was just getting 5th to 10th most times, in that range. So I started winning races in 8th grade. And basically this led to a deep passion for the sport, and I started actually like wanting to do it more and actually wanting to try a little harder, but I was still doing basketball, and that was still like my love, you know? And so, yeah, I guess basically freshman year came around, and my high school coach was like, hey, I know you're really good at this, but he was like, talent alone is not gonna like cut it in high school. If you want to be good, you're gonna have to work hard. And I basically was like, okay, whatever, coach, like I'm sure. Like I was just pretty cocky, like thought it was fine. But yeah, anyways, I thought about those words, and I took it kind of seriously actually after some deep thinking about it. And I ended up running really well my freshman year. I got 4th at state in cross, which was super exciting. Yeah, I thought I was like the coolest person ever, which like it was a small class in Missouri, so it wasn't even that big of a deal, honestly. But I thought I was like, I thought it was tough. Anyways, I got 4th at state in track, 2 in the 3200, and 6 in the mile. So obviously I was like okay at it. I was running pretty fast for what a freshman was supposed to run, I guess. Anyways, the next year I actually decided to lock in fully and quit basketball, and I was like fully determined to just like be good at this running thing. And I ended up having a great sophomore season, and I ended up winning state, which was cool. It was like one of the most euphoric moments of my life, like my first state title. It's like I was in pain for 13 minutes, and then the last 2 I just like couldn't feel anything because I just had so much adrenaline. It was sick. And so after that I was like, okay, maybe I can like go D1 in this. Like, I don't know, we'll see how far we can get. So I just kept working. Sophomore spring was obviously COVID. That was pretty tough. I was not running well. I was hating running. I was like not having these good workouts. I told my coach like I wanted to quit. Yeah, I was just not having it that spring, honestly. I was just like unmotivated, not having fun, whatever, as I'm sure a lot of people felt. But then I flipped my mindset, got back to normal. Junior year, I was running super well, and I got like sick the week before state. Like our whole team got COVID, but we like low-key didn't test because, you know, we just wanted to race, whatever. So I like pulled up to state. I had like a minute cushion on like PRs, so I thought like, oh, maybe I'll still win even if I'm sick. And luckily I did win, but it was like barely. A guy who I didn't know at the time, but who I know now and who people watching this will probably know, Connor Burns. So he PR'd by like 30 seconds, like took it to me. I thought I was about to lose. Like it was a kickoff, and I was like, okay, yeah, that was tougher than I wanted it to be, but whatever. I ended up winning. That was cool. And then Connor ended up running really fast in the winter, which I was seeing, and it was a little scary because he was running way faster than I was in the winter. Anyways, track season came around. I was feeling fit again. I was feeling fine. I was ready for state. Connor was running fast. I was running fast. So it was like, it was going to be a fun time, you know? I always racing really good people. And so we get to state, and it's just every race is a battle. 3,200 comes down to a kick, last 10 meters. Then the 16, then the 8, and they were like all in the same day. And it was just me and Connor just like trying to outkick each other the whole time. Luckily, I was able to outkick him all 3 times. But yeah, that was cool. It was fun. It was fun racing Connor. It was like, that's when I knew like, oh, this kid's gonna be good, and I'm actually gonna have to like keep training my ass off to beat this kid. So basically, yeah, Connor ran really well. I ran well, and our team actually ended up winning state, which was insane. It was like the first state title for like a boys team at our school, like ever. Like we got put on like the town sign, like the population limit sign thing, whatever. So that was cool. And then senior year, same thing. I was grinding that summer though, because I was like, I know Connor's right here. Like I can't let up. My goal was to three-peat, and then boom, I get hit with injury. And I was just like, I don't know. After the injury thing happened, I was like, I'm not going to beat this kid. He's too good to beat like hurt. He like put BTA in in the 5K, like beat me by 25 seconds or something crazy. Anyways, props to him. So I didn't three-peat, which was pretty disappointing, but I was happy that the season was over and I could finally like rest and rehab and get my leg back to being okay and everything. So I took like 6 weeks off of running, rehab my leg, Ended up coming back, and in the spring I was feeling good. Like, I was feeling pretty fit, and finally I had this like breakout race where it was like one of the bigger meets we went to, and I won like the 16 there. I won the 32. I think I won the 8 as well, and then our 4x8 placed pretty well. So I was like excited after that. So once again, I was looking at Connor's times, looking at mine. He was running a little bit faster. It was a little scary, but yeah, we got to the state track meet and he beat me in the 32, and I was like, okay, well, I only like have a chance in the 16 now to beat him because he wasn't doing the 8. So 16 rolled around. We had like a crazy fun like race. I was able to beat him in that, which was cool, but that was like the only time I beat him senior year, I think. And so yeah, that was a fun time. And then I basically was already committed to Notre Dame at that point. I was super excited. And so yeah, that leads to kind of where I am now, which is like wanting to make this YouTube channel, just talk, I don't know, whatever else may come to mind. But yeah, so for some fun facts about me, I am the #1 Shai Gilgeous-Alexander Glazer. I'm a huge Thunder fan. That's my boy. So it's like I'm ride or die for him, favorite athlete. Like, hopefully they'll run it back, which I'm sure they're going to win another ring. But I mean, they're not the Celtics after all, so they will get another one in the next like 3 years. And yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. I listen to a lot of music. I'm always listening to music, actually. My friends can vouch for me on this. But if you have any like song recommendations, like drop them in the comments, because I'm trying to listen. Like, I love being put on new music, that sort of thing. And yeah, if you have any video ideas or anything you'd like to see, like running content related, maybe like a day in the life or answering questions, whatever it may be, just drop them in the comments below, because I'm not really sure where to go from here. So I'm sure you guys can give me some good ideas. But yeah, basically that wraps up this video. Hopefully that wasn't too boring, but if it was, then you should give me some ideas, like I said. So anyways, this is gonna feel really like corny, and I don't really want to say it, but like drop a like if you want, subscribe if you want. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.